Ireland, 1920. Part of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland from the Act of Union 1801. However, for the last 30 years, political uncertainty leads to the formation of two large camps on the island: the Ulster Volunteer Force and the Irish Volunteers. Only the start of the Great War delays the implementation of Home Rule and consequently a bloody civil war. Whilst Irish soldiers, both Protestant and Catholic, served together in the trenches, Irish Republicans launched the failed Easter Rising 1916. Citing the old Republican saying, "England's difficulties is Ireland's opportunity," centred in Dublin, it is crushed by the British Army and the leaders are executed. With the Empire and the Allies victorious against the Germans in 1918, a calm descends. It is, however, short-lived. In County Tipperary, at Solohead Beg, Irish Republican Army members ambush Royal Irish Constabulary officers, escorting explosives for a quarry. Killing the officers, stealing their weapons and the explosives, the first shots of the Anglo-Irish War have been fired. The war escalates, with murders and reprisals becoming a daily occurrence. The Royal Irish Constabulary are targeted frequently by the IRA. Reinforcements are transferred from across the United Kingdom. One of those men was Lieutenant Colonel Bryce Ferguson Smyth, a Banbridge native who had served in the Great War, earning many decorations for bravery and the loss of an arm. Due to Gerard's great knowledge and skill, he was made a Divisional Commissioner of the Royal Irish Constabulary. In the Listowel Barracks on the 19th of June 1920, he is reputed as having made a speech saying, "I wish to make at present situation clear to all ranks. A policeman is perfectly justified in shooting any person seen with arms who does not immediately throw up his hands when ordered." At the time, many were doubtful of the authenticity of the statement, considering it to have been fabricated. Regardless of which version of the speech he actually made, Gerard was now a marked man, and on the night of the 17th of July 1920, whilst he was in the smoking room of the Cork and Country Club, 14 Sinn Féiners entered the building. 4 or 5 of them rushed to the smoking room where Gerard was sitting. They burst in through the door. The leader shouted, "Colonel, were your orders not to shoot on sight? Well, you're on sight now, so prepare." Then they opened fire, riddling his face, forehead and neck with bullets. After he was shot, he sprang from his seat, but it was evidently a death effort, for he was fatally wounded. He rushed to the hallway, but after a few yards, he dropped dead. Gerard's funeral took place on the 20th of July 1920 from Consolee House. It was probably the largest funeral ever seen in Banbridge. His coffin was draped with a Union flag, his service cap and belt, and a wreath from his mother was placed on top. A special train from Banbridge brought 100 men of the 1st Bedfordshire and Hertfordshire Regiment who were stationed in Newtownards, accompanied by their brass band, and 100 men of the Royal Irish Constabulary and their band. Many dignitaries from the military, the Royal Irish Constabulary and the political world also attended the funeral. One person missing from the funeral was his brother Osbert. Also in the British Army, he was serving in Egypt and could not get home. However, he did return to Ireland to help bring security back to the country. Like his brother though, Osbert was also killed executing his duty. He was believed to have been shot by Sean Tracy and possibly Dan Breen. Gerard was laid to rest alongside his father in Banbridge Municipal Cemetery in a grave easily recognisable for its ornate Celtic cross. The service was conducted at the grave by the Reverend D. Hanson, after which 3 volleys of shots were fired over the coffin and the last post was sounded. Gerard's murder brought widespread revulsion to the town of Banbridge. During the funeral, it is said that the soldier's song was played from premises in Bridge Street, believed later to have been burnt down by arsonists. Some premises in the town did not close as requested by the Urban Council, the reason supposedly being that Sinn Féiners had threatened them with reprisals if they did close their premises. A newsagent belonging to McMahon of Bridge Street, Banbridge, refused to draw their blinds and closed the shop during the funeral. They later had their premises ransacked and burnt. On the 22nd of July 1920, upwards of 2,000 people paraded through the town. After dispersing, a section of the crowd, approximately 300 to 400 people, converged on Scarver Street, where they broke into Henry's public house. While there, a shot rang out from a house opposite belonging to Daniel Monaghan, who was known to have nationalist sympathies. William John Sterritt, aged 17 years of age, received a bullet to the head, and he died at 1:30 a.m. on the morning of the 23rd of July. 2 others were injured, Minnie Shields and Fred Wilson. Minnie was shot through the arm. The shot that hit her was being aimed at Sergeant Kennedy of the RIC. The military arrived from Newry and they were fired upon by the Monaghans, then fire being returned by the army. Daniel Monaghan and his sons were tried before a court in Belfast, charged with the death of William Sterritt, the wounding of Minnie Shields and Fred Wilson, and endangering the safety of an officer of Her Majesty's service, as well as possessing firearms and ammunition. Daniel and his 2 sons were acquitted of the charge of discharging firearms to the danger of the military and the police. On the charge of possessing revolvers and ammunition, Dan Monaghan was fined £10. The damage claims in Banbridge during the period of unrest totalled £40,000. This included petty damage such as breaking windows, and more seriously, the burning of buildings. There was a feeling at the time to rename one of the Loyal Orange Lodges in memory of Jared. This occurred on the 4th of October 1920, when Loyal Orange Lodge number 518 was renamed the Colonel Smyth Memorial. This lodge is sadly no longer in existence. In honour of William Sterritt, Gideon's Chosen Few, Loyal Orange Lodge number 257, changed its name to the Sterritt Memorial. This lodge also fell into a dormant state, but the memory of William Sterritt has been revived as this lodge was reformed on the 8th of January 2000. A local band, King William Street Flute Band, of which William Sterritt was a member, also changed its name to William Sterritt Memorial Flute Band. The band also over time disbanded. However, members of LOL 257 and other local Orangemen reformed the band in 2015, and it has flourished. As time moves on and memories fade, we must ensure that the sacrifices of our forebears are never forgotten. We will remember them.